The Miami Dolphins are at home for Week 8, licking their wounds, taking on the New England Patriots, who got back into the win column last week, so they're the ones coming in hot.
Jones swings it, touchdown! Gesicki! Patriots go in front, 12 seconds on the clock.
This is round 2 for these clubs. First game was tight, too. New England feeling like if we can get the kind of defensive showing we did in Week 2, along with the offensive showing we got last week, we could be cooking with some gas.
Jones looking, throws, Kendrick Bourne, he's got the angle, touchdown, Patriots.
Mac Jones, 272 yards, over 9 yards per attempt, 2 TDs, no picks, a rating over 125 versus a Bills defense that's not easy to pass on.
Jones hangs in there, Rainbow is caught. Pharaoh Brown for a first down.
Jones didn't key in on any one guy. Pat's pass game, a collective effort. 4 guys had 50-plus yards, none with more than 63. Wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, all part of the action.
Dump off. Stevenson still going after the catch. Stevenson works the sideline.
So how does he replicate it this week? In his Week 2 game versus Miami, just 5.5 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, a sub-90 rate, more in line with his 2023 numbers and play.
Mac Jones firing, throws it out of bounds, incomplete. Kendrick Bourne was over there.
The key may be whether his line can hold Miami's pass rush at bay. See versus Buffalo, who has plenty of QB hunters, Jones faced pressure on just 21% of his dropbacks, only got sacked once.
Through the air, Jones, diving attempt, it's Douglas for the first down.
In his loss to Miami, sacked 4 times, pressure rate faced over 30.
His 40th pass of the night. Bradley Chubb coming in, he's got him. Chubb throws him down.
Miami's pass rush hasn't slowed down either. They sacked Jalen Hurts 3 times last week. They have the 4th highest sack rate of any team in the league.
Everything covered. Hurts had it knocked down, it's free, and the Dolphins have it. That was Phillips on the pass rush who got in, and Christian Wilkins comes up with it.
Miami's pressure versus Hurts did not have the same impact it did versus Jones, though. Their numbers against the pass still in really rough shape after giving up 279 yards, a couple touchdowns, and a rating near 110 to the Philadelphia passer.
Hurts, complete, through the tackle is Brown, to the end zone, touchdown, Philadelphia.
But Miami might get to see cornerback Jalen Ramsey make his debut, and they didn't have cornerback Xavier Howard, so if they get those 2 back, it really changes things.
Jones, from Parker, picked off, let's see, and it looks to be an interception back inside the 5. Xavier Howard.
Pat's run game still made up of Zeke and Ramondre Stevenson. Didn't do much versus Miami in that Week 2 game. Didn't do much versus Buffalo in Week 7. Their run game hasn't really led the charge for them yet.
They run against it, bouncing off Stevenson, and not much there, no gain.
Miami's run game didn't do much for them either versus Philadelphia, just 3.8 a run, and their ground game is vital to their success.
Toss to Mostert, man in the backfield, loss of 5.
That game wasn't out of hand early either, and it wasn't that they couldn't run it. Raheem Mostert averaged 5 per carry.
Raheem Mostert got to the edge, Mostert across midfield, into Eagles territory, running hard to the 43-yard line.
Just 9 attempts, though. They shied away from calling too many run plays, in theory because they were missing 3 starting O-linemen by game's end. Definitely tracked that situation as well this week, but Mostert was a big reason their offense functioned as well as it did when they beat New England. He ran for 121 yards, 2 TDs, and a nice 6.7 per run against them.
Mostert takes off and goes the distance for the touchdown. So the Patriots defense sees Mostert pull off the biggest run of the night.
Patriots gave up 4.3 per carry to James Cook last week, but they've held running backs to 3.5 on the year. And then the burning question, how well can New England's secondary hold up versus Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle? They did a good job in their loss to them in Week 2, held Tagovailoa to a low 90s rate, picked him off, kept Hill to 40 yards, 5 receptions on 9 targets.
Tua first window closed, fires downfield, Hill out of bounds and incomplete. Marcus Jones was over there covering.
Waddle did go for 86 in that game. He went for 63 last week, dealing with a back injury as well, so track him too. Tyreek dropped 88 yards and a touchdown versus the Eagles.
It's one thing to beat one of the best cornerbacks in football in James Bradbury. This was double coverage. They were going to bracket him, and he ran right past both of them.
Only 8 yards per catch, though, so his stats were somewhat volume-based. Patriots secondary they take on just held Josh Allen to a 90 rate, picked him off, held him to under 7 yards per attempt, held Stephon Diggs to 58 yards.
A deep ball to the end zone, broken up. Stephon Diggs matched up with J.C. Jackson.
The ultimate key to slowing Tua, can you pressure him? Miami has 2 losses, both subpar outings for number 1. Both games he took 3+ sacks. Hasn't taken that many in any other game.
3 offensive linemen out on the left side. There just was no way, if they had to resort to a drop-back passing game, that they were going to survive against this defensive line.
New England's pass rush has an average pressure rate, one of the lowest sack rates in the game.
To delay the defender, Allen on a BB to Stephon Diggs for a first down.
They do blitz a lot, though, 5th most. Tua eats blitzes for breakfast. 7 touchdowns, no picks, rating of 135.1 against 5+.
Here they come. There he goes. Tua. Caught. Touchdown. Waddle.
Here's the thing. Tua has had 3 games with a rating over 110, where he looked unstoppable, versus the Chargers, Swiss cheesiest secondary around, versus the Broncos, secondary was atrocious at the time, and versus the Panthers, 32nd, 31st, and 24th in rating allowed.
Oh, he's got him! He's got Hill! And they've got a touchdown!
So Tua needs to show he's more than Billy Madison playing 3rd grade dodgeball on the playground. If you hear any injury news, there are a lot of dudes to track on that front in this matchup. Make sure you post about it in the comments section along with your take on the game. Here's the take according to our panel of 10.